Chapter number 46. Baba's Gaya Trip, Story of Goats. This chapter describes Shama's trip to Kashi, Prayag and Gaya and how Baba was there ahead of him. It also describes Baba's reminiscence of past births of two goats. Blessed, O Sai, are you feet? Blessed is your remembrance and blessed is your darshana, which frees us from the bond of karma. Though your form is invisible to us now, still, if the devotees believe in you, they get living experiences from you. By an invisible and subtle thread, you draw your devotees from far and near to your feet and embrace them like a kind of loving mother. The devotees do not know where you are, but you so skillfully pull the wires that they ultimately realize that you are at their back to help and support them. The intelligence, wise and learned folk fall into the pit of the samsara on account of their egoism. But you save, by your power, the poor, simple and devout persons. Inwardly and invisibly, you play all the game, but show that you are not concerned with it. You do things and pose yourself as non-doer. Nobody ever knows your life. The best course, therefore, for us is to surrender our body, speech and mind to your feet and always chant your name for destroying our sins. You fulfill the wishes of devotees and to those who are without any desire. You give bliss supreme. Chanting your sweet name is the easiest sadhan for devotees. By the sadhan, our sins, rajas and tamas qualities will vanish. The sattva qualities and righteousness will gain predominance and along with us. Discrimination, dispassion and knowledge will follow. Then we shall abide in our self and our Guru, who are one and the same. This is what is called complete surrender to Guru. The only sure sign of this is that our mind gets calm and peaceful. The greatness of this surrender, devotion of knowledge is unique for peace, non-attachment, fame and salvation etc. come in this train. If Baba accepts a devotee, he follows him and stands by him, day and night and at his home or abroad. Let the devotees go anywhere he likes. Baba is there ahead of him in some form in an inconceivable manner. The following story illustrates this. Gaya trip. Sometime after Kaka Sahib Dikshat was introduced to Sai Baba, he decided to perform a thread Upanayana ceremony of his eldest son Babu at Nagpur. At about the same time, Nana Sahib Chandodkar decided to perform the marriage ceremony of the eldest son in Gwalior. Both Dikshat and Chandodkar came to Shirdi and lovingly invited Baba for these functions. Baba asked them to take Shama as his representative. When he was pressed to come in person, Baba took them to take Shama with them, and that after doing Banaras and Prayag, he would be ahead of Shama. Now, mark these words, for they show Baba's all pervasiveness. Taking the permission of Baba, Shama decided to go to Nagpur and Gwalior for these functions and ceremonies, and hence to Kashi, Prayag and Gaya. Appa Kote made up his mind to accompany him. They both went first to Nagpur for the thread ceremony. Kaka Sahib Dikshit gave Shama rupees 200 for his expenses. Then they went to Gwalior for the marriage ceremony. Nana Sahib Chandodkar gave Shama rupees 100 and his Wahi Mr. Jathar also gave him rupees 100. Then Shama went to Kashi and then to Ayodhya, where he was well received by Jathar's beautiful temple of Lakshmi Narayan at Kashi and in Ram Mandir at Ayodhya by Jathar's manager. They stayed for 21 days in Ayodhya and 2 months in Kashi. Then they left for Gaya. In the train, they left a little uneasy on hearing that plague was prevailing in Gaya. At night, they all alighted at Gaya station and stayed in the Dharmashala. In the morning at Gayawala, the priest who arranges and provides for the logging and boarding of pilgrims came there, and 8 pilgrims have already started. You better make haste. Shama carefully asked him whether there was plague in Gaya. What? Said the Gayawala. Come without any fear or anxiety, and see yourself. Then they went with him and stayed in his house, which was big and commodious. Shama was pleased with the accommodation provided for him, but what pleased him the most was the beautiful big portrait of Baba fixed in the center and front portion of the building. Seeing the portrait, Shama was overwhelmed with emotion. He remembered Baba verse, after doing Kashi and Prayag, he would be ahead to Shaman. After doing Shama and Prayag, he would be head to Shaman, burst into tears. His hair stood on the end, his throat was choked, and he began to sob. The Gayawala thought that he was afraid of plague prevailing there and therefore was crying. But Shama inquired of him wherence he got Baba's portrait there. He replied that he had 200 or 300 agents working at Manmad and Pune Tambe for looking to the convenience of pilgrims to Gaya. From them, he heard about Baba's fame. Then about 12 years ago, he went to Shirdi and took Baba's darshana. There, it was Baba's portrait hung in Shama's house, and with Baba's permission, Shama gave it to him. This was the same portrait. Shama then remembered this former instant. The Gayawala's joy knew no bounds when he had learned the same Shama who obliged him before was his guest then. Then they both exchanged love and service and were most delighted and happy. The Gayawala gave him a right royal welcome. He was a very rich man. He sat at the palkeen and made Shama ride an elephant and attended to all the comforts and convenience. The moral of the story is this: that Baba's words come out true to the letter, and unbounded was his love towards the devotees. But leave this aside. He also loved all the creatures equally, for he felt and he was one with them. The following story illustrates this. 2 goats. Baba once returned from Lendi. When he saw a flock of goats, 2 of them attached his attention. He went to them, creased and fondled them, and bought them for 32 rupees. The devotees were surprised at conduct of Baba. They thought that Baba was duped in this bargain, as the goats would fetch rupees 2 each, at the most rupees 3 or 4 each, that is rupees 8 for both. They begged to take Baba to task this, but Baba kept calm and cool. Shama and Tatya Kote asked Baba for an explanation. He said he would he should not store money, as he had no home and any family to look after. He asked them to purchase at it cost 4 sets of dal and fed the goats. After this was done, Baba returned the goats to the owner of the flock and gave out the following reminiscences and story of the goats. Shama and Tatya, you think that I have been deceived in this bargain? No. Listen to the story. In their former birth, they were human beings and had good fortune to be my companions and sit by my side. They were uterine brothers, loving each other at first, but later on they became enemies. The elder was an idle fellow, while the younger was an active chap and earned a lot of money. The former became greedy and jealous and wanted to kill his brother and take away his money. They forgot their fraternal relations and began to quarrel with each other. The elder brother resorted to many devices to kill his younger brother, but all of his attempts failed. Thus, he became deadly enemies, and finally, on an occasion, the elder gave a deadly blow with a big stick on later head, while the later struck the former with an axe, with the result that both fell dead on the spot. As the result of their actions, they were both born as goats. As they passed by the time, I at once recognized them. I remembered their past history. Taking pity on them, I wanted to feed them and give them rest and comfort, and for this I spent all the money for which you reprove me. As you did not like my bargain, I sent them back to the shepherd. Such were Sai's goats. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace to be all.